In the previous video, we were able to successfully render the data from database into HTML pages. We have created dashboard.html and products.html, and we attempted to display the customer data and also the products data. In this video, we are going to first work on some styling aspects of dashboard.html and products.html by extending from the base.html, which we have done earlier for home.html. So let me copy that into dashboard.html, save it, and then go back, and you need to close the block. So just copy this part and paste it in the end of dashboard.html. So if you do this, which means that we are trying to extend the base.html, whatever styling we have mentioned in base.html, into dashboard.html, and we place the rest of the all content which we created earlier between blocks. So now let us see how the output would be, because we have in base.html various css, bootstrap, all those things. So let's see now how the output would be. So you can run it once again, python manage.py run server, click on the link, go to the link and click on dashboard. So now you can see this particular nav bar is present in dashboard.html, and you can also see the change in colors of home button. So this is due to the JS files which we keep in the base, which we have kept in the base.html. Now let's do the same thing for products.html. So let me just copy the same part, extend base.html and place it in the top of products page, so that for navigation it would be very easy. So once again, copy the end block and place it towards the end of products.html. So if you do that and save it and go back and just refresh this screen, and this is dashboard.html, this is products.html, and if you click on home, you'll be going back to home. So this is what you can clearly see the output. So now what other things we could add into this portal, in this dashboard? So I would be interested in various number of products that has been ordered by so and so customer, and maybe have an individual link for each of those customers, so that I click on it, goes there and displays all the relevant content related to that particular customer. So let us do that by first creating an HTML file called as customer.html. So in order to know what to place in the customer.html, so first let's create these see, it's similar to our dashboard.html, but this is for specific customer. We will let you know how we can create content for the specific customers. So we have created this HTML file. Now let's just go to views and create one more method which is for the customers. So let's call that as customer. So let's call the method which is used here as customer. So def customer, and the default argument is request. This is where the change happens. You need individual page for each customer, and each customer has an ID, and we need to obtain that ID as an input from the URL. So that I'll discuss little later. So we have the customer method with two arguments, and now I'll be getting the individual customer data and later render that content into the customer.html. So in order to access that, I'll be accessing the customer class. We have already loaded that customer class. We can, if you see dot models, from models we have imported all the classes, and we already know in the models we have all the classes here, customer class, so that we are trying to access here. So customer dot, in order to access the individual customer data, you have something called as objects.get, and mention the ID, so that you would be able to get the data of the particular customer. So you got now the customer, the specific customer data based on the ID, and now you can render the content by mentioning that in the context dictionary. So we have already a context dictionary here, so we don't have a context, so we did not create a context dictionary. So let us create a context dictionary. So I'll call that, instead of giving directly, I'll call it with a certain name. So here we can have multiple things. I can also have the details of all other customers and along with the individual customer details. So I'll send both of these in context dictionary. So let me call that as customers as a key, and I'll send these customers variable, which is all customers, and the second component element in this dictionary is the customer, individual customer for which we are requesting. So that should also be placed in tags, in quotes, because it's a key. And the value, so we are going to access using this value. So you can keep any name. I'll call it here as cust, and you would like to send the data which is present in the customer. This is the individual customer for which we are asking. So these are the two things which are present in our dictionary, and let us render that and return it. So render, so request is a default argument, and send it to customer.html, and later give the context dictionary. So context. So once you do this, you are going to render the content to customer.html. So we need to access the content which we are passing through this context dictionary in context in the customer.html. So let us now create the content in the customer.html. So here what we would like to have is a simple way of accessing the data. So I'll first access the customer name by placing these two flower braces, and we have already sent the individual customer name which is through cust. So that is the, so we got the cust. So cust corresponds to the customer details. Okay, and so let us now access the other aspects. So let us quickly see the result of what we are going to get if you try to render in this way. So let me save the views.py and also models. So we have a new function here, and we need to mention that in URLs. So let me also go to URLs and mention that we have a new HTML, new path, new URL, so which is called as customer, and mention that this is also customer name. And here this is where actually I need to make the change, that where I need to give the individual ID for a customer. So here I need to place str inside these tags and give the specific ID or ID. So and enter a slash. So now you send this data, or so what is happening is when we click on customer /1, so this one is going to the views function. So in views we are going to access through this argument pk underscore test. So we are particularly getting the data of that customer who has this ID, and we are trying to render the data of that customer. So that's the flow of how things are getting rendered. So here, so in customer.html, so let us quickly see what output we are going to get for this. So go to this, and you have this dashboard, we have all these things, but now I want to get the data of an individual customer. So let me call customer. So let's call customer. So we gave customer.html and we rendered that way. So let us see what is the mistake here. So views.py, we are rendering into customer.html, And in customer.html, what we have, so let's see first of all whether we have we have done all the things right or wrong. So we have views, we have URLs, so we have placed the path, name, customer, views. Okay, this is products, this is not the products, this is the customer, because the method name is customer in views. So this is the method name, so that has to be placed here. So save it. Now you click on this link and go back. So the mistake what we have done is we did not place yes here, objects dot get. So now if you try to render, so this is was the output. So if you render it, so this is the customer, individual customer name. So I can get such different customers name by changing the ID. If I change a different ID to 2, I'm getting a different uh, username. So I can collect all the relevant information regarding the user and place it in this HTML page. So how to do that? So in order to do that, so we will collect other information of this customer also. So for example, like in order to collect all the orders of this customer, we can access that by using orders is equal to customer dot, you can use a method called as order underscore set dot all, and you can access orders inside the context dictionary. So once you click on this, you can call a key value as ord, and you can mention all the orders. See, what is happening here is we have products and customers are linked via orders. So customer places the product orders, and we have seen that orders contain foreign keys through which customer and product tables are accessed. So we have a method to access all the orders placed by an individual customer by customer dot order underscore set dot all. So we are getting that, and also we will get the total count of the customer, individual customers. So total count of all orders made by the individual customers, so that you can get by just using the method. So you have count method, so you can just invoke that, it will count the number of orders it has, and you can also pass that argument. So once again in the context dictionary, so you can call it as ord count and mention the variable order underscore count. So we are trying to pass all the orders and the total number of orders into this individual customer page called as customer.html. So let us see what happens when you send all those things. So you go here and refresh this page. So we don't see here, we did not include that in customer.html. So let us do that. So here you can access all the variables which we have sent. So what I'll do here, we can display the total orders made by, all the orders made by, so we are calling here as so the total orders made we can display, so that you can list out all the orders here. And maybe in order to list out, we will use once again table tags and mention that it uses class table, and here use once again the template tags and use the for loop to get individual orders. We have used ord to get in orders, so through this variable we are going to access that. So we have everything in ord, so access individual order and trying to display in each row. So use the row tags and use these tags and td, and you can mention here the I dot product. So here orders has product as one of the variable which we know. So we are accessing individual the orders made by this customer by using this ORD. So this is one thing which we would like to, we can see the output of this, how it is. So let's save all the files which where we have made modifications, and let's see what is the output. So this is the thing. So let's go to individual customer by clicking on the relevant link. So we have some errors here, so let's close it. So let us close this for loop. So you can write end for, you can save this, and now you can just go and enter this. So now you can see these are the orders made by Sandeep, is the customer name, and we are able to get individual data, the data of the individual customer. So in the same way we can access other things also. We have also sent the total number of orders, so we can mention that here. So just open h1 tags and say the number of orders by the customer, so that you can mention by invoking the ORD count which we sent through context dictionary. So that's how we can access. So and we can go back and we can see the result. So this is also we are able to see in this way. By changing the customer ID number, we'll get data of the other user. So Sandeep, he has ordered only one item, which is pasta, but if you take the other user, we are able to get, so we can get the data of individual users. In the next video we will see how to create the link for these and access individual data in the dashboard.